Starting with news from the United States, U.S. President Joe Biden made his first major international address on foreign policy in a powerful speech at the Munich Security Conference. Now, Joe Biden declared that the transatlantic alliance is back. Biden also said that traditional U.S. allies should once again have confidence in Washington's leadership.
We'll be back, and I'm a man of my word. America is back. I speak today as President of the United States at the very start of my administration, and I'm sending a clear message to the world. America is back. The transatlantic alliance is back, and we are not looking backward. We are looking forward together.
Now, Biden is seeking to re-establish U.S. as leader of the West against what he calls a global assault on democracy. Biden delivered harsh warnings about the threats posed by Russia, insisting the international community must work together as it is easier for the Kremlin to bully and threaten individual states. Now, Biden also dished plan to invite Russia into the G7 club. Now, Trump supported the idea last year. Russia was expelled from the then G8 in 2014 after seizing the Crimea region from neighbor Ukraine.
Mr. President, thank you for keeping that promise. We welcome you.
The Kremlin attacks our democracies and weaponizes corruption to try to undermine our system of governance. Russian leaders want people to think that our system is more corrupt or as corrupt as theirs. Putin seeks to weaken the European project and our NATO alliance. He wants to undermine the transatlantic unity and our resolve, because it's so much easier for the Kremlin to bully and threaten individual states than it is to negotiate with a strong and closely united transatlantic community.
Now, Biden reaffirmed commitment to the NATO alliance, calling it unshakable. The statement was at odds with Trump's. Now, Trump had called the 30-member alliance outdated and at one point suggested that Washington could withdraw.
The United States is fully committed to our NATO alliance, and I welcome Europe's growing investment in the military capabilities that enable our shared defense.
Now, German Chancellor Angela Merkel welcomed the U.S.'s return to multilateralism. Merkel said that it is clear that multilateralism will once again have a stronger chance.
We are so excited to have you here together.
Die Zeichen für Multilateralismus stehen in diesem Jahr sehr viel besser als vor 2 Jahren. Und das hat auch sehr viel damit zu tun, dass Joe Biden der Präsident der Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika geworden ist und seine Rede eben aber auch die Ankündigung seiner Administration. Die ersten haben uns davon überzeugt, dass hier nicht nur gesprochen wird, sondern dass gehandelt wird.
Now, the United States has officially returned to the Paris Climate Agreement, calling climate change a global existential crisis. Biden said we can no longer delay or do the bare minimum to address climate change. And for more on this, we were joined by our correspondent Susan Tehrani from New York earlier. Listen in.
Big task indeed, with the backdrop of COVID in all of these discussions, and no surprise that it took center stage, as Boris Johnson noted, as we heard in the soundbite. They really want to support globally this coronavirus and the distribution of vaccines, and that's going to be a challenge, considering the fact that if we take a look at these Western countries, the United States, Canada, Australia, the whole of the EU and Japan, they have a population of a little more than 2 billion people, and they've managed to stack up about 3 billion doses of the COVID vaccine. So it's going to be challenging to see how they're going to use it for themselves and then distribute this. We did hear earlier from U.S. President Joe Biden, who announced that he'll be making a $4 billion pledge to COVAX. He's already joined the WHO, and with other G7 countries, this number, the 4 billion, will add up to about 7.5 billion in promoting global vaccine distribution and trying to take care of COVID. So that's one side of it. Another aspect is of the global economy. We've often talked about the U.S. economy and jobless rates on this program from New York, from Washington, but this is really a global issue, and tackling it not only among Western countries or the most wealthy 7 countries, the G7 group, is going to be definitely a challenge, and how alliances are going to work in this regard.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.